What still haunts a legend at the edge of death? Ozzy Osbourne, father of heavy metal, a voice that changed rock forever, had it all: fame, power, immortality through music. But behind the roar of the crowd was a man drowning in silence and sorrow. And in the final days of his life, he whispered his truth to the only one who never left: Sharon. Before we begin, raise your thumb, not just as a gesture, but as a tribute to the man, the myth, and the pain that fame could never fix. Among Ozzy's deepest regrets, one stood above the rest: the spinal surgery meant to save him, but that stole everything. "I thought it would fix me," he said, "but it crushed me." What was supposed to be healing became his undoing. Infections followed. Parkinson's worsened. Walking became impossible. Even blinking was agony. Those months, he recalled, were pure hell. But the worst pain? It stole his music. He didn't just lose his strength. He lost the only thing that still gave him purpose. "I regret that surgery more than anything. It didn't save me. It took me away from my voice." Ozzy, the storm on stage, was reduced to stillness. Lyrics were left unfinished, melodies forgotten, scribbled in shaking hands. The man who once moved millions could barely move himself, and yet she stayed. "It wasn't the doctors who kept me alive," he whispered. "It was Sharon." In his weakest moments, she was still beside him, the same way she always had been. His second heartbreak cut even deeper, and it was self-inflicted. His betrayal of Sharon. She had stood by him through addiction, arrests, collapse, building him up when he tore himself down. She was the reason he survived, and still, he broke her heart. "I did a terrible thing," he admitted, "to the only woman who ever truly loved me." When she found out, she didn't explode. She didn't run. She cried. And then, she stayed. That's what haunted him most. "She should have left me 1,000 times, he said, "but she didn't. And I gave her one more reason to consider it." It wasn't just betrayal. It was a failure of love, character, and gratitude. And that weight followed Ozzy Osbourne to his last breath. In his final months, as his body failed and his mind slipped, one regret haunted him: how he nearly lost Sharon, the woman who never stopped loving him despite everything. He wrote a letter full of guilt, but burned it, saying she deserved peace, not apologies. Sharon's silent forgiveness, bringing him tea, playing his old records, cut deeper than any fight. Their daughter Kelly once said, "Mom wakes up every day to make you coffee. That's love, Dad." Those words weighed on him more than pain or disease. Ozzy spent his last years trying to earn forgiveness in small ways, giving up tours, learning to listen, slipping notes under pillows. Behind the rock star image was a fractured man held together by a woman's love. But another regret ran deeper: his struggle to truly speak music. "I screamed on stage," he said, "but I never learned how to really talk to music." Though iconic, Ozzy never played an instrument, and that silence haunted him like a wound he couldn't show. And then there was the collapse of Black Sabbath's Never Say Die, a fractured album reflecting their unraveling. Ozzy called it a tombstone, a symbol of lost potential, a wound he carried for decades. Fans asked why he never played those songs live. He answered simply, "Some songs weren't born, they were buried." Two regrets, one quiet, one loud, cut from the same cloth, knowing he could have done more if life had been kinder, or if he'd known how. In these raw, unhealed wounds, we don't just see a legend. We see a broken man still begging to be understood. Some regrets roar like fire, others whisper like ghosts. For Ozzy Osbourne, despite his legendary voice, one regret burned deep. He felt he'd sold his soul. His biggest solo album, though a hit, left him hollow, trapped in glam metal styles he never embraced. "I don't hate the songs," he said, "but I hate what I had to become." That emptiness haunted him more than the cheers ever could. Then came Black Sabbath's final hometown concert, meant to be perfect, but missing their original drummer. To close without him felt like betrayal, Ozzy said. Amid the roaring crowd, a silence filled the space. Something vital was gone. The Osbournes' reality show brought fame, but at a cost. "I turned my family into a show," Ozzy admitted. Private pain became public spectacle. His kids were exposed before they were ready, and wounds ran deep beneath the chaos. These weren't just career missteps. They cut to Ozzy's core, soul, integrity, love. Yet through every crack and fall, Sharon Osbourne stayed. She didn't just witness his struggles, she carried him. When betrayal threatened to shatter them, she stayed. Her fierce, quiet forgiveness was the real strength behind the legend. In Ozzy's darkest days, when voice and body failed, it was Sharon's presence the world heard. Not loud, but relentless. A love that rebuilt, protected, and preserved. When the lights dimmed, it wasn't the crowd's roar that mattered. It was the whisper of the woman who never left. In every regret Ozzy named, Sharon was there. In every apology he couldn't voice, she had already forgiven. In his final chapter, she didn't just witness his pain, she gave it meaning. Because no matter how broken a man becomes, if someone truly stays, he is never lost. On July 21st, Ozzy stepped onto the Birmingham stage one last time. No grand spectacle, just a fragile figure, cane in hand, whispering to the crowd, "This is the last time I will ever stand on a stage." The silence that followed was louder than any roar. Every song was a confession, every note an apology. This wasn't a concert, it was his final act of redemption. Behind the scenes, pain was relentless. Parkinson's, failed surgeries, trembling hands. Yet Ozzy sang songs born from his darkest hours. Sharon watched quietly, her love steady and unwavering, even as the band's original drummer was absent. Leaving a void Ozzy felt deeply. The night ended simply, "Thank you for letting me live this life." All proceeds went to charity, a final gift of grace. He couldn't undo the past, but he could leave something right. 2 days later, in the quiet of their home, Ozzy slipped away peacefully, holding Sharon's hand. "I'm tired," he whispered, "but I'm not afraid." No fanfare, no screams, just a gentle farewell from a man who gave everything, finally at peace. The world mourned, but in that last performance and quiet goodbye, Ozzy left more than music. He left a legacy of courage, love, and redemption. And maybe, just maybe, that fragile final act was enough to help him let go. After Ozzy's passing, tributes flooded in, from rock legends to nurses on night shifts, veterans and single moms. To them, Ozzy wasn't just music. He was proof that broken souls can still shine, that chaos can be holy when born from heart. Days later, Sharon spoke from the room where he died, holding his wedding ring. "He didn't die in fear," she said. "He died in peace, having given it everything. He faced the end like he lived, head on." His funeral was private, no fanfare, just family and the songs that revealed his soul, not just hits, but hidden heartbreak. The world mourned deeply. Vigils, concerts paused, genres united. Ozzy wasn't just a rock star gone. He was a movement's end, a legend eternal. But what truly took him wasn't Parkinson's. It was the weight of regret. Broken promises, unsaid words, pain no medicine could heal. For a man who screamed through chaos, regret whispered louder than ever. Heroes don't die from pain. They die when hope to make things right fades. So pause. Have you ever felt a regret that hums in silence? If his story stirs you, share your truth. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.